Hey guys, Delt here. I took my first journey down into the Ice Abyss this weekend, and it is a truly terrifying place. There's a ton of new mobs, even in normals there's plenty of nightmare mobs, and the mob density, just like in the ice caves, is very high. I only made it through like a room and a half, but I think this video is a very good showcase of how to get into the Ice Abyss and what it'll be like for players on their first few attempts down there. I actually had to look up how to get to that map because I spent a few games looking for red portals or anything that went down, and the way that you get there is actually really cool, but also sort of hidden if you don't know what you're looking for. So I hope you enjoy this game because I thought that the ice map was awesome, but also very, very difficult as a solo. And since we're playing in normals and I'm coming in here with base kit, I'm just trying to get as much loot as I can before we actually get down there because I want to at least have a fighting chance and I don't really know what to expect. So I'm just going to be running around looting. If we find other players, I'm probably just going to try to get them out of the game because I don't necessarily want to fight them in Ice Abyss. I'd rather just fight them here. And since I did spawn in the wolf caves, I decided that I was going to go run and try to get the lion's head real quick. But sadly, after I opened it, there really wasn't anything for us. So we're just going to keep moving around. And I want to stick to the south side of the map because it's in this part of the area that we're able to get into the Ice Abyss. If we're at the north side, we literally need to venture across the map or we're not really going to be able to do it. So after we open this chest and see that there's nothing for us, we're going to keep moving south and then just stick to that part of the map. We'll clear left and right, but we're just not going to go north at all. Getting some extra dexterity from our pants is always nice to see. That'll let us play our songs faster and attack faster. The upgraded lantern shield is also great. I'm just deciding to keep my white one because I don't have them in my squire and I want to make sure that I can just have those because I really like them. And having the riposte for a lot of the mobs here is actually really nice to have. For example, whenever the skeleton decides he wants to push us away, we're just going to put our shield up, and as soon as we block it, we'll riposte and finish him off. And while I'm in this room, there's another lion's head in the center, and I'm just planning to run there and then keep moving around. As a side note, the poo point chests can be very good for Bard if you're playing in duos or trios. Since I'm in solos and I have a padded tunic that's giving me strength already, I'm just planning to keep that because I want more damage for myself rather than having more knowledge and resourcefulness for buffing my teammates. If you don't want to buff yourself anywhere near as often, you can stack more resourcefulness on your solo Bard. I just don't think it's the most beneficial since Allegro and Accelerando aren't affected by it. When they were, stacking resourcefulness was amazing. And we are getting True Fizz and added armor rating from this necklace. It could be better, but honestly, just as like a find from a death bat is pretty nice to see. And this archer is a lot easier to deal with, in my opinion, with a survival bow than a crossbow, but we're just going to do it anyway. We just need to make sure we don't get hit and we're moving left and right while we reload. And in this Lion's Head, we're able to upgrade our crossbow. And I am just going to keep my old crossbow for now, for the same reason that I'm keeping my old lantern shield. I don't have them in the Squire yet, and I'm gonna have to pay for them if I drop this one. But after realizing how much money I've actually been making from this run so far, I decided to drop it anyway. And the halberd skeletons, I'm pretty sure I've only ever seen 2 attacks with them. The majority of the time, they're going to start with a stab forward. It's the one that I see 90% of the time from them. And if you just back up a little bit and put your shield up, just directly at them, you should block their stabbing attack. And you can just riposte that, or if you're using a buckler, just start to use your normal attacks. Just know, like what was just shown here, if you do 2 swings of the rapier, there's a chance you're not going to get your buckler up in time, and you're just going to take the damage. And I'm fighting a harpy here. I'm gonna fight it, but I don't want it to knock me off into the abyss before it's ready. Spoiler alert, before it's ready. So I'm actually just gonna run the harpy back, and I'm gonna fight it in a different spot where I'm not gonna get knocked off and just insta die. To fight these, if you have a shield, it's the same exact way that you would fight the halberd skeletons. Just put your shield directly between you and the harpy. It shouldn't hit you, and then you can either riposte or hit them with your weapon. If they use their like frost gust attack, you can also just block that in the same way. Harpies really aren't that bad to fight. I just think that they're a lot worse when you have other mobs on you at the same time. And the chest in here has a chance to be a golden chest, but this time it was a lion's head, which is even better for me because I don't have any lockpick. So after I kill the death bats in here and the archer that aggroes me, then we'll open it, we'll get all loot, and we'll be good to go to the next room. And we do hear another player in the next room, and like I said before, if we do see or hear someone, I'm honestly just wanting to take them out because I don't want to have to fight people in the abyss when I don't know what the map is like. I just want to get down there and hopefully be alone or only have one other player who's on the opposite side of the map that I won't have to deal with. But now that we're here, it's looking like he already died to skeletons, so we don't have to worry about it. And just as a side note, I haven't tried or tested this yet, but it looks like how you dodge his other attack is you're supposed to crouch, look down, and walk forward to his right. I do know for sure that when the halberdier swings, you can just look up and to the right and you will block it. And while I'm buffing, I'm honestly looking for this other player's body, and I haven't been able to find it. I do eventually turn on my lantern shield and even look around like that, and I don't see it. But with all those halberdiers, I'm not wanting to drop down. I've already wasted enough of my meds before I even got into the abyss, and I don't really want to use too much more unless we see another player. And a druid walked up behind me and he started calling as a chicken. I do try to kill him, but honestly, if people know what they're doing with druids, they are very difficult to kill because they just won't fight you. If they do fight you, you have a really good chance of winning. From what I've noticed, I haven't actually lost a fight to a druid. This is the hardest fight that I've ever had with one, and he just really wasn't fighting. I honestly might start bringing Piercing Shrill just to hit them whenever he turns into a rat and one-shot them. But all I really did trying to fight this guy was waste more meds. I shut the door here, I heard him transform into a bear, and I'm getting ready to attack him as soon as he takes the wall down, but he backs up and immediately turns into a rat, and that just makes it to where it's really hard to hit him again. I genuinely don't think that druids are strong as a class. They just seem like really annoying and just something that wants to make your life difficult. So I decided at this point I'm leaving. I looked down into the abyss and I saw red. When you see red in the abyss, that means that it's basically just calling for you, and you can jump down and you will be safe. You won't die, I promise. It'll bring you into the waiting room to enter the ice abyss. Now, I'm not saying that you won't die here. You just won't die from jumping down. The very first mob that I encountered in here actually jump scared me. I didn't know that spiders came down from the ceiling. Luckily, these spiders don't seem too difficult to deal with, but the rest of this room was absolutely awful. Frostwalkers, you already know what those do. Those aren't bad either. But I just saw two skeletons on the ground, and I was like, you know what? This shouldn't be too bad. There's just two skeletons, right? Nope, they were both Nightmare, and I'm in Norms, and I barely have any gear on. Nightmare. Getting hit once almost took me down 50% of my health. I need to figure out how to deal with these things. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There's a Wendigo in the center of the room, and some like mage-looking thing below me. I'm not going anywhere near there. But this ice block looked pretty safe to me, so I decided to try it, and it worked out luckily. Also, apparently there's skeletons with maces and heater shields here too. Sadly, I didn't get the 1v1 those, so I can't really show you their attack patterns, but I was just trying to stay away from these Nightmare Halberdiers because I probably would have just died. I also apparently aggroed the mage and didn't realize it until a couple seconds from now. When I jumped down from the ice block, he decided to come up the stairs and try to kill me. These, if you're soloing them, don't seem too bad. They have an ice bolt attack that shoots at you, and they also put this frozen thing under your feet that gives a stacking slow. So as long as you can get out of those, you'll be fine, but I didn't know about it at first. This is my first game down here. I haven't looked at anything, so you'll see how bad that stacking slow actually can be, because I didn't realize what it was at first. And now there's a spider too. Perfect. So that stacking slow doesn't only affect your move speed, it also affects your swing speed. Look at how slow my rapier's going. And then there's these battle axe skeletons. Completely horrifying when they are nightmare variant. Like, what is that, dude? I'm not even trying to find out how it hits me or how hard it hits me. It just puts its axe up and it runs at you like 300 move speed, if not more. And I just pulled another one and the Wendigo by accident, so we are 100% going back to our cheese spot and hoping for the best. And I just want to point out here, Skeleton Archer is the MVP because while I'm fighting everything else, he is slowly killing the Wendigo for me. And now I'm getting low on heals, but I definitely want to explore around more before I leave, so I'm gonna do that. As soon as this Wendigo is dead. Not a bad light Akatim. We're getting 6 health, 1 knowledge, and 2.5% physical damage bonus, which is more than our padded tunic is currently giving us. And we also got a lantern shield with more physical damage reduction, which is always great to see. And just as another side note, this place looks so cool. There's a lot of textures and it's definitely giving like an even deeper, even colder vibe. Everything is ice. It looks like ice cubes. It looks like stalagmites made of ice. It definitely looks like I'm inside of a glacier and I really like that. It seems really good to me. So you see that little demon head on the wall? Well, he also attacks you. And it's another like stacking slow ground thing. So you need to kill them too, apparently. And at this point, I didn't know what it was yet. I figured it out a couple seconds later. I cheese, you cheese, we cheese, all cheese. And while I was killing that, I also heard an escape portal in the next room, so I want to go and open it so I have some sort of safety net and then run around just so I can die. Remember how I said I knew absolutely nothing about this map? I thought this was a breakable wall. It's actually just a door. And in the center of this room, I do see a demon imp and I do see some other skeletons around. So I want to open that portal. I'm going to come back to this first room, see if I can grab the lion's head. And then I'm going to come back and try to fight this thing. And I am just opening 2 portals just in case there's another player here, just in case he takes mine. I know that there's at least going to be one here for me. And as I said, I'm heading back to this last room to see if I can grab the lion's head chest that was underneath where I was clearing out. But there was another mage. And to add insult to injury, the chest is a lockpick chest, and I don't have the song or any lockpicks. So now it's time to go see what the imp does. First try. So basically all I really noticed from this guy is he's pretty easy to kill with a ranged weapon. He shoots a projectile and you could either just run it behind a wall or dodge it. And you could either just run it into a wall or dodge it and shoot him and he'll just teleport around. If you have ranged weapon, he seems really easy. He seems like it'd be a lot more difficult if you only had a melee. So far, so good. And I see 2 more skeletons in the center here, and I'm deciding this should be a pretty easy clear. So I'm gonna go do it and realize that I made a mistake. I should have pulled these one by one because there's also a harpy in this room. And I was just planning to leave as soon as I noticed that. I was gonna block the harpy's attack and keep going, but instead I swung like an idiot and I took damage. And then as I was getting to the portal, it hit me with its ranged attack, and I don't know the sound cues, so I wasn't expecting it and I didn't block it. So that was our first look into the new Ice map. If you enjoyed the content, please just give me a comment, like, or subscribe to the channel. Anything, everything helps, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you who do it. Have a great day. Peace.